Aging gracefully isn't about avoiding change. It's about embracing the little secrets that help us move through life with strength and stability. Walking, one of the most natural things we do, can either become a risk or a superpower as the years go by. But some older adults seem to carry a quiet magic in the way they move. They walk differently, steadier, surer, and because of it, they rarely experience the falls that sideline so many after 60. Today, we'll uncover 5 walking secrets that help them stay on their feet and live more freely. These aren't complicated tricks. They're simple shifts, grounded in science and tested by life, that you can start using right now. Let's take the first step together. 1. They engage their core with every step. If you observe older adults who rarely fall, you'll notice something subtle but powerful about their movement. They don't just walk with their legs, they walk with their entire body. In particular, they engage their core muscles with every single step. It's almost invisible from the outside, but it makes an extraordinary difference inside. The core isn't just your abdominal muscles. It's a wide network of muscles stretching from your hips to your shoulders, wrapping around your torso like a protective belt. When strong and active, the core acts like a natural stabilizer, keeping you balanced even when the ground beneath you is uneven or unexpected shifts happen. Without a strong core, every stumble, every unexpected jolt, pulls the body off balance. With it, you automatically correct yourself before you even realize you could have fallen. Think of it like this: imagine a tall oak tree in a storm. The wind pushes against it, but the tree bends slightly and then straightens back up. It doesn't fall because its roots and trunk are strong, giving it both flexibility and strength. Your core plays the same role for your body. It allows you to adjust quickly and subtly when your balance is challenged. Unfortunately, as we age, many people lose touch with these vital muscles. Years of sitting, years of not needing to think about balance, slowly dull the connection between the mind and the core. But the good news is that this connection can be reawakened at any age. And it doesn't require an expensive gym membership or complicated routines. Those older adults who walk steadily have learned a simple truth. Engaging the core can become second nature. Every time they stand up, every time they step forward, they lightly brace their midsection, not with a stiff, uncomfortable clench, but with a gentle feeling of firmness. It's not about tensing up or making yourself rigid. It's about creating a sense of internal support, as if you are wearing a belt of strength around your waist. One practical way to practice this is to imagine gently pulling your belly button slightly toward your spine as you walk. Not so much that it changes your breathing, but just enough that you feel a subtle tightening around your middle. Then, as you take steps, keep that gentle engagement alive. Over time, it becomes automatic, as natural as breathing. Studies back up this quiet secret. Research shows that core training improves postural stability and reduces the risk of falls significantly among older adults. In fact, programs focused on core engagement have been shown to cut the fall rate by nearly 30% in certain studies. That's not just a number. It's hundreds, thousands of moments where a fall could have happened but didn't, where independence stayed intact, where confidence grew instead of fear. In everyday life, core engagement means being ready for the unexpected. A loose rug, a sudden gust of wind, a slippery grocery store floor. Your core will instinctively kick in and help you steady yourself before your mind even registers the threat. The beauty of this secret is that it requires no special equipment, no lengthy routines. It's a practice you can start right now, simply by bringing a little more attention and a little more intention to each step you take. So next time you rise from a chair or step out for a stroll, take a breath, gently tighten your middle and feel the difference. It's one of the simplest, most powerful gifts you can give your future self. The gift of stability, of confidence, and of freedom to keep moving through the world on your own 2 feet. 2. They shorten their stride to stay upright. One of the most powerful secrets older adults use to prevent falls isn't about going faster or stepping harder. It's about stepping smarter. Those who rarely fall after 60 have discovered that shortening their stride gives them better control, balance, and safety. It's a small adjustment with a massive impact. When we're young, we often take long, confident strides. We stretch our legs out without thinking about it, assuming the ground will meet our feet where we expect it to. But as the years pass, the body's reaction time naturally slows. Muscles may not respond quite as quickly, and joints may not move as freely. Taking big steps becomes riskier because each long stride leaves us more vulnerable if something unexpected happens. A bump in the pavement, a crack in the sidewalk, even a patch of uneven carpet can turn a long step into a dangerous misstep. Shorter strides, on the other hand, create a safer rhythm. They keep the body's center of gravity more directly above the feet, which means better balance with every step. Imagine walking across a balance beam. Would you take giant leaps, or would you take small, careful steps, keeping your body centered? Short steps help you stay connected to the ground, giving you more control and stability. Those older adults who seem to move so surely and effortlessly often aren't moving quickly, they're moving wisely. Their steps are deliberate, almost like a quiet dance, with each footfall happening under their center of mass rather than stretched far ahead. They don't rush. They don't push forward with momentum. Instead, they create a calm, steady pace that naturally protects them from falling. Science supports this approach. Studies on gait mechanics in aging populations show that reduced stride length, coupled with increased cadence, that is, more frequent, shorter steps, improves balance and reduces fall risk significantly. It's a bit like switching from a risky sprint to a smooth, reliable march. Shortening your stride also helps in another important way. It allows you to respond more quickly. If your foot doesn't have to travel as far, it can react faster to a sudden obstacle. You gain not just stability but agility, the ability to adapt in the blink of an eye, which becomes increasingly important with age. Practicing this is simple, but it takes mindfulness. The next time you walk, consciously take smaller steps than you're used to. Feel how your feet land more directly beneath you and notice how much easier it is to maintain your balance. Over time, this smaller, smarter stride will become automatic. You won't have to think about it. You'll simply move with more confidence. Another gentle trick is to listen to the sound of your steps. A shorter stride often creates a softer, more even rhythm. When you hear a consistent, gentle tapping of your footsteps, you know you're walking with balance and control. No heavy stomping, no rush slapping of feet, just a calm, steady beat that says, "I am here and I am steady." This shift is not about limitation. It's not about giving up the ability to move freely. It's about gaining a new kind of freedom, the freedom to keep walking, keep exploring, keep living fully without the constant fear of falling. It's about honoring the wisdom that your body has earned through the years and adapting to protect the beautiful life you've built. 3. They keep their eyes forward, not on their feet. There's a quiet but powerful discipline practiced by older adults who move safely and steadily through life. They keep their gaze forward, not downward. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it makes an extraordinary difference. Where the eyes go, the body tends to follow. And those who keep their vision lifted naturally walk more upright, more balanced, and more confidently. It's an understandable instinct, especially as we age, to glance down constantly, to watch every step, to monitor the ground as if waiting for a trap to appear. But what many don't realize is that constantly looking down throws off the body's natural alignment. It pulls the head forward, rounds the shoulders, and tips the center of gravity off balance, making a fall even more likely. When you keep your head up and your eyes forward, your spine stays tall. Your shoulders align over your hips. Your hips align over your feet. Your center of gravity moves into its safest, strongest position. In this posture, you're not fighting gravity, you're working with it. You move more like a sailboat gliding across water, upright and steady, instead of stumbling like a heavy wagon tilting over uneven ground. There's also a psychological dimension to it. Looking ahead projects confidence, not just to others, but to yourself. It signals to your brain that you are capable, aware, and moving toward something. It lifts you mentally as well as physically. Studies in gait and posture have found that people who maintain a forward gaze while walking report feeling more secure and are less likely to experience freezing of movement, especially in crowded or unfamiliar places. Now, keeping your eyes forward doesn't mean ignoring your environment. It's about expanding your field of vision rather than narrowing it. When you gaze forward naturally, you can still see the ground in your peripheral vision. You can spot obstacles several steps ahead instead of reacting at the last second. It's the difference between steering calmly toward your future and constantly bracing for a fall. A simple practice to reinforce this habit is to pick a visual target a few feet ahead of you, say, the next street light, a bench, or a doorway, and walk toward it with your head up. Allow your eyes to sweep the path naturally without dropping your chin toward your chest. Feel how your back lengthens and your steps become smoother, almost effortlessly. It's not about stiffly locking your gaze in place, but about creating a gentle, upward openness. Another tip is to imagine balancing a book on the crown of your head as you walk. This old posture trick encourages your neck and head to align properly without strain. You might even find yourself breathing more easily and deeply when you walk tall, as your chest has more room to expand. Maintaining a forward gaze also ties into emotional well-being. Walking upright with your eyes ahead can literally shift your mood. Research shows that upright posture is linked to higher feelings of positivity, greater energy, and reduced symptoms of depression. In a very real way, how you carry yourself physically helps shape how you feel emotionally. Older adults who rarely fall aren't necessarily the strongest, fastest, or most athletic. Often, they are simply the most aware. They move through the world with intention, not fear. They trust their bodies enough to look toward where they are going, rather than getting trapped by what is directly underfoot. So next time you lace up your shoes and set out, even if it's just across the living room, lift your chin, open your chest, and let your eyes lead you forward. Feel the subtle change as your body follows your vision. In every upright step, you're not just preventing a fall, you're claiming your space, your path, and your future with quiet confidence. 4. They walk heel to toe, not flat-footed. There is a subtle grace you will notice in older adults who move through the world without fear of falling. They walk with intention, placing their feet heel to toe, one after another, rather than stomping flat-footed. It is not dramatic. It is not exaggerated. But it is one of the strongest, quietest secrets to their stability. Walking heel to toe means landing first with your heel and then gently rolling the step forward to your toes. It creates a smooth, flowing motion that helps maintain momentum, balance, and connection to the ground. In contrast, when someone walks flat-footed, slamming the whole foot down at once, they lose that graceful transition of weight. Instead of moving in a fluid wave, they move in sudden jolts. Each step becomes a minor jarring event, making balance harder to maintain and increasing the risk of tripping. Think of a tightrope walker. They do not stomp across the line. They place one part of their foot down and roll forward with deliberate care. Even though we are not walking a tightrope in daily life, our bodies still crave that same balance, that same natural sequence of movement. The heel-to-toe pattern is built into us from childhood. We only lose it when we stop paying attention or when fear makes us stiffen up. Older adults who have mastered this art know that walking is not a race. They walk at a pace that allows them to feel every part of the step, the touch of the heel, the roll across the arch, the gentle push-off from the toes. This rhythm not only keeps them upright but also keeps their legs, ankles, and feet strong. Every step becomes an opportunity to maintain muscle tone, joint flexibility, and nerve sensitivity, all of which are critical in preventing falls. Science supports this wisdom. Gait studies have shown that a strong heel-to-toe motion improves dynamic balance, making it easier to recover from small stumbles or shifts. It also stimulates proprioception, the body's ability to sense its position in space. In other words, the more your feet actively feel and engage with the ground, the better your brain can understand where your body is, even without looking. That understanding becomes a silent shield against falling. Practicing heel-to-toe walking can be as simple as slowing down and focusing on the process. When you next walk across a room, try to consciously place your heel down first, then let your weight roll naturally forward to your toes before lifting the foot again. You might feel a little awkward at first. That's normal. Over time, it will become second nature, a rhythm you carry with you automatically. A helpful tip is to practice on different surfaces: carpet, hardwood, grass. Each texture teaches your feet something new, enhancing your ability to adapt and balance in any environment. Another trick is to imagine you are walking along a thin line, not in a tightrope sense of danger, but in a sense of precision. Feel how your feet connect step after step, building a steady chain of movements rather than disconnected stomps. There is a mental benefit to this practice as well. Walking heel to toe encourages mindfulness. It draws your attention to the present moment. Each step becomes an act of focus, a quiet declaration that you are here, alive, moving with intention rather than drifting through habit. And that mindfulness, in turn, reinforces both emotional and physical resilience. Those who walk heel to toe are not rushing through life. They are savoring it. Every step is a conversation between body and earth, a whisper of strength that says, I am steady. I am capable. I am still moving forward. 5. They practice micro-adjustments while walking. One of the quietest yet most powerful habits you'll notice in older adults who rarely fall is their ability to make constant micro-adjustments as they move. These are tiny, nearly invisible corrections, subtle shifts of the foot, hip, or shoulder that keep them upright and balanced, even when the world around them is less than perfect. Life, after all, is full of little surprises. A crack in the sidewalk, a stray pebble on the floor, a sudden breeze that pushes just enough to throw you off balance. Older adults who walk confidently have learned to stay in conversation with these surprises rather than fighting them or ignoring them. They don't wait for a stumble to correct themselves. They are adjusting, fine-tuning all the time, small shifts that prevent big falls. Micro-adjustments come from staying aware but not fearful. There's a deep difference between the two. Fear tenses the body, making movements stiff and clumsy. Awareness keeps the body relaxed but ready. It's the feeling of being gently alert without being anxious. It's the difference between walking like a rigid statue and moving like a supple tree that bends with the wind but does not break. Research into balance in fall prevention highlights the power of dynamic stability, the ability to maintain balance not by standing still, but by continually adapting in real time. In fact, studies show that older adults who train themselves to react to small disturbances rather than trying to brace rigidly against them have a much lower risk of falls. It's not about avoiding all movement. It's about staying fluid enough to respond wisely. Practicing micro-adjustments does not require a special program. It simply requires bringing a little more attention to how you move. As you walk, notice the surfaces beneath your feet. Are they slightly uneven? Are they sloping? Instead of tightening up, allow your ankles, knees, and hips to adjust naturally. Think of yourself as riding the surface rather than marching over it. One helpful exercise is to occasionally walk on varied terrain, grassy fields, gravel paths, soft trails. These surfaces naturally encourage your body to make tiny adjustments, teaching your muscles, joints, and nervous system to stay responsive. Start slowly. There's no rush. The goal isn't to challenge yourself with difficulty, but to reawaken your body's natural intelligence. Another practice is mindful walking indoors. As you move through your home, try shifting your weight very slightly from side to side as you walk. Feel how your balance responds. It's a small movement, almost like a gentle dance, but it keeps your core engaged and your reactions sharp. Breathing also plays a role. Shallow, tight breathing can make the body stiff and unresponsive. Deep, relaxed breaths encourage a flowing posture. Before you walk, take a slow inhale, feel your body expand, and move forward with that same sense of openness. Those older adults who seem to glide effortlessly through parks, grocery aisles, and front porches are not blessed with superhuman luck. They are practicing a skill, often unconsciously, that anyone can develop: the skill of small, steady adjustments. It's a beautiful metaphor for life, too. Those who thrive in the later decades are often not the ones who try to force the world to stay still. They are the ones who learn to flow with it, responding with grace to every small shift, never losing their balance for long. So, as you step into your next walk, whether it's to the mailbox or around the block, think of yourself as an artist of balance, painting each step with tiny, beautiful corrections. Know that in these small moments of adjustment, you are building strength, confidence, and resilience. You are choosing to stay steady in a moving world, and that choice is a quiet triumph with every step you take. If you found these insights helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us bring more empowering and inspiring content to you every day.